Vine pushed open the glass door of the dance studio. She was instantly struck by the sheer size of the place. She could hear the music and rhythmic footsteps from distant dance hall. She confidently stepped inside, walking through different hallways. It was quite large. Well, she didn't expect it when her dad told her that he got the best trainer for her. He owns this whole building, and each hall of it screams hard work. Like it's built with lots of struggle, and each design and art placed with lots of consideration. Spotting a young boy adjusting his shoes nearby, she approached him. "Excuse me, I'm a bit lost. Could you possibly tell me which way is to room number 4? The young boy turned around, his face lit up. "Oh, are you looking for trainer June?" "Yeah, it's actually my first day here, so I'm actually confused." "No problem at all," he said cheerfully. "I'll walk you to the room. It can be tricky for the first time around. By the way, my name is Jaehyun, and I'm one of the students of trainer June." "Oh, nice to meet you. I'm fine." "Nice to meet you too. It's good to see another student around here. And if you need a tour of this building, I'll be at your service." In chuckled, shaking her head at his cheerfulness. "That's very sweet of you." "Here we are. Good luck, man." "Thank you, Jaehyun." She smiled and waved before walking in a different direction. Taking a deep breath to center herself, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. At the far end, the figure was adjusting the sound system. His back was turned toward her. From this angle, she stared at his tall, broad shoulder frame. A thin sweat dampened shirt clung to his muscular body. Tattoos peeked out from under the short sleeves of his shirt. She closed the door behind her. The sound seemed to catch his attention. Their eyes met through the reflection in the mirror. Van eyebrows furrowed for a split second as she finally caught the glimpse of his face. He was looking awfully familiar, yet she couldn't pinpoint. She saw his eyes widen in the mirror before he turned to face her fully. "Van?" The voice was deeper yet familiar. Finally, the realization struck her. Her eyes widened. "Jungkook?" she said, almost questioning. Jungkook paused her, relaxed slightly as a small, somewhat sheepish smile crept over his face. "Yes, it's me." Van set her back down on the center of the room. "It's been a long time, hasn't it?" "Definitely longer than I expected," she said, and let her gaze over his tattoo, which she didn't expect. He looked totally different from the boy she knew in high school. "I guess you were not expecting your new dance trainer to be me?" "Not in the least," she said, letting out a light laugh. "But I'm glad it's someone whom I know. It feels less formal and more interesting, right?" He walked over to her, now standing in front of her. Ryan tilted her head back slightly to maintain eye contact. Because of the height difference, he paused, extended his hand with a grin. "So let me introduce myself properly. I'm Jungkook, your personal dance trainer. This is my studio and like my second home. I would love to be your personal trainer for however long you want." He took his hand, her grip firm on his hand. "I'm Van, but you already know that. Looking forward to seeing what you can teach me, Mr. June." "Please, just Jungkook will do." They stared at each other for longer than intended, hands still intertwined. When she pulled her hand back from his grip, a smile formed on his lips, and letting her eyes wander across the studio, purposely avoiding his. "So, where should we start on our first date?" Jungkook cleared his throat before answering. "Let's start with the basic." "Ah, this is enough for today," she exclaimed dramatically, falling on the ground. Jungkook turned off the music. He then turned, watched her momentarily, a chuckle escaped his lips. "That was just the start," he said as he approached where she lay sprawled on the cold floor. He offered her a hand, but instead of taking it, she propped herself up on her knees, looking up at him with a glare. "Yeah, but it was exhausting. How are you not tired?" "Years of practice," he said finally, taking a seat beside her on the floor. "Plus, I think I have built a bit of stamina, and I love what I do. That makes a huge difference. When you're passionate about something, it fuels you. You did it great for the first time." "Thank you," she scoffed. "It's been a week since she started these classes, yet she got tired just in 20 minutes, and it was not good at all." "You will get used to it. Dance is about pushing limits physically and emotionally, but trust me, the exhaustion is worth it. You feel alive, don't you? Alive and half dead." He smiled. "When you will get used to it, it will become more your comfort zone. It will become more your comfort zone. I do hope or this limited interest will disappear in no time. From when did you start getting interest in dance? Mia scratched her neck awkwardly, a slight flush coloring her cheeks as she admitted, well, there was this boy group which is really famous these days. They are four guys and their songs and choreography with those smooth steps are just insane. So I just wanted to learn dance, wanted to see if I could do it or not. But of course, I suck at it. It's not easy at all. I don't know how all these people learn dance. It's not like they were born professionals. Everyone started from somewhere. They practice tirelessly day and night to protect their art, and besides, you shouldn't degrade yourself. You're not as bad as any other student come here to learn from scratch. Your body is flexible, your moves are on point. She felt a flush of warmth spread across her cheeks at his comment, but had her flustered state with a scoop. So you're just saying I'm bad, not bad, yet still bad. He rolled his eyes. You cats, that out of all the things I've said, he slightly leaning closer than where her body was resting. I'm saying you have a lot of potential. You're far from that. You're actually good. If I put it like this. Can he stop appreciating me? She mentally whined, feeling the intensity of his gaze pierce through her defenses. There was something about him that was so different now. She remembered how back then he had those soft features, slightly chubby cheeks, a soft nose, and most importantly, those warm eyes that seemed to hold thousands of flexes within them. But now the chubbiness had vanished. His face was more taut, and the strong jawline framed by an eyebrow piercing added to his rugged appeal. Yet, one of the things that had not changed, the warmth in his eyes which reminded her so much of the past, even if she tried to forget how she used to admire him back then. Yet the difference is, if she used to admire him before, she is more attracted towards him now. She suddenly sat up with a jerk, shaking her head. Jungkook got startled at her sudden jump. He stared at her a little confused as she walked towards the bench, grabbing her bottle. It's already late now. I think I should leave, she announced, her voice a bit firmer than intended, as if she was convincing herself as much as informing him. As she made her way towards the door, his voice stopped her once again. When I was thinking about how about we hang out sometimes outside of these lessons, maybe grab a coffee or something. The thing is, I've never had many friends in high school, and it's been a lot like that since, and honestly speaking, I like to spend time with you. So, Vine had paused on the door frame. The offer was tempting, too tempting, but why is she hesitating? It's been a week of them spending time, and yes, she admits she loved to spend time with him too, because unlike before, he was not quiet and shy boy anymore, and it's not like she liked him anymore, so that shouldn't be a problem spending time with him, right? So she turned around and smiled. I think that would be a nice idea. In the corner of the library, Van was nestled in her chair, her face cupped in her palms, eyes fixed on the quiet boy seated at the far end of the room. He was deeply engrossed in the assignment the teacher had given them. Unlike him, she was distracted, her assignment forgotten, as she admired his soft features, which were looking more prominent under the light streaming through the nearby window. You're really head over heels for that boy, she whispered in her ear. Who said that? It's painfully obvious. You have not looked at your assignment once since you sat down, and every time you walked into a room, you practically got a whiplash from turning your head so fast, she said, rolling her eyes, and she ignored her friend's words. Well, yeah, she was that obvious. I don't know what to say to him. Come on, Vine, you're the class president. You have talked down teachers, charmed your way out of the detentions. Boys line up just to talk to you, and here you are getting nervous over the nerd. He's not a nerd. Jay rolled her eyes. He practically buries his nose in the book all day, and honestly, it shouldn't be so hard to talk to him. He looks like he'd do well if a girl just smiled at him. Though I wonder if any girl have really taken any interest. Sure, he's good looking, but what's the point if always playing the lone scholar? We stop talking down on him just because he doesn't party around like the boys of his age, make him less interesting. He's different, and there is nothing wrong with that. Jia surrendered her hands in the air. Shit, you are really in love. You're going to murder me if I said anything wrong about him. Vine rolled her eyes, sighed, her gaze flickered towards him once again. Why don't you just be yourself? Just talk to him like you talk to anyone else. Ask him about the assignment or about the book he's reading. It doesn't have to be a big deal, and honestly, the worst that could happen is he is not interested, but at least then you don't know you could stop torturing yourself over it. So when she finally got the confidence the days of her high school, she didn't really expect the things should go down that way. She was casually leaning against the locker, chatting with one of her friends, when she saw Jungkook approaching from the other side end of the corridor. Her heart skipped a beat as their eyes met briefly. It seemed as if he was heading directly towards her, but to her disappointment, he simply walked past her. So she followed him, taking it as an opportunity. She saw him walking in an empty classroom, so she called him out softly. He turned around at her voice, a little startled. Yes? Don't want to disturb you, but can we talk? Yes. So she turned to him, fully bracing herself. She was always the confident one, but today her confidence just vanished in the air. I was wondering if you might like to hang out sometimes outside of the school. The thing is, I like you, Jungkook. I know this might be sudden, but yeah. So I just want to know if you like to go on a date with me, she asked with a hopeful expression. Jungkook just stared at her for a moment silently, like he was froze. His mind processor was Windows X, taking a lot of time to interpret her words. I can't. The light in her eyes dimmed a little and Jungkook noticed that. Is there any reason? Is it me? Or maybe is there someone else in your life? He shook his head immediately. No, not because of you. It really never thought about dating and stuff. This is awkward. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I can't. I'm not ready for something like this right now. She nodded her head, adjusting her bag straps. Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand. I am really sorry. One smile hiding the strain in her voice. Hey, chill. It's not like you obligated to read on my feelings. That's totally alright. I just want to get it off my chest before we graduate. You really don't have to feel guilty about it. Seeing him looking down, clearly still uncomfortable and guilty, she reached out quickly, kissed his cheek, causing him to look up in surprise. Don't look so glum. It's not like I'm pointing a gun at you. I just didn't want to regret not telling how I felt. I would hate to look back and wonder what if, but now I know we can move on. No drama. Thank you for understanding. Well, anyway, I need to go now. My bestie must be eating. He nodded his head and she turned around. The first smile on her face vanished and she bit her lips to stop herself from wobbling. Well, I should be an actress. One sighed, closing the menu book, telling her order to the waiter. When she heard the sound of someone clearing his throat, she looked up to see Jungkook. I'm really sorry. The last 1 minute of my story stopped me, so I couldn't get away. I'm sorry for keeping you wait too long. Hey, it's fine. I just got here myself not long ago. Sit down. He took the seat opposite of her. So how is life going, Miss President? Fine, Jagal. In the past 2 weeks, they have met. They didn't talk much about their personal life. It's going fine, I guess. After graduation, there was not much things for me to do. Well, my dad offered me to work in his office, but I declined it. Because knowing how I'm gonna work my brain off on those stupid files every day. So I did what I wanted to. I love to travel, and after graduation, these past 2 years, I traveled a lot. But you know, my interests change here and there, so now I'm learning dance. Maybe after a few weeks, I will be learning to take up ballet classes next. Who knows? Then laugh. Look like you're living your life to the fullest. If I had your spirit, I won't be sitting in one place too. When shrugged, a smile playing on her lips. Life's too short not to try everything that catches your fancy, right? But enough about me. What about you, Mr. Trainer? My life is not as adventurous as you, honestly. You can say quite boring if you listen. That doesn't matter. I'm good in listening, and I'm kind of curious how you built that beautiful meaning of your own. Well, it was not an overnight thing, that's for sure. Even my school time, I always drawn to dance. But while I was completing my degree, I worked a few odd jobs, saved up, and then decided to take the plunge and open my own studio. It was a lot of hard work, long hours, planning, and quite a bit of luck too. Getting the funding, finding the right location, not to mention the building process, it was quite a lot. After completing my degree, I gave my 100% to it. And then I have very supportive students. They were like my own kids. They respect me so much, and that what made me keep going. Now here I am. Yan wiped her dramatic tears, and he chuckled. That was actually impressive. I swear, hearing your story made me proud. You had always this determination. even back in school. And now it's really paid off, I see. He chuckled his arm, unconsciously rubbing to the back of his neck, a slight blush coloring his cheek. Thank, it's really mean a lot coming this from you. As they stepped out of the cafe, they found themselves side by side on a nearby bridge, taking the small stroll. It was refreshing to talk with someone whom she knew from the school days, even though the circumstances were different. One stare at him, you still have not changed. You get flustered over little compliments. Well, I did try to change, trying to look different, you know. One laughed as he gave her a half smile. Trying to change your parents, I did notice the new style looked good on you. They stepped slowly at the reach in the middle of the bridge, both pausing to look over the water. And how's your love life? This might be personal, but I'm always curious. With all the dedication to your work, do you even have time for a special one? He sighed, looking ahead, leaning on the railing. Honestly, it's been on the back burner. I have been so focused on the studio and the students that I have not really made much space for that part of my life. It's quiet, but I guess I'm okay with that for now. How about you? Me? Well, I dated a guy in France. At first, I thought he was charming and really sweet, but it didn't take long for his true color to show. He became really controlling, always questioning where I was, why I have not picked up, why my messages are not replied to immediately. It was constant. You shouldn't go there, you shouldn't wear this. I was looking for a partner, not a dad. I can't stand big control. There's difference between being caring and controlling. Broke off with him on the spot. That must have been difficult for you. Man gave a small shrug. Yeah, it was, but that was 2 years ago. I have not really thought about jumping back into a relationship since then. I'm happy now. I'm happy how I'm living my life. Then turned his eyes to study her profile, the moonlight casting a glow across her features. He was beginning to realize just how much he enjoyed being with her. It was different, that kind of different he didn't realize himself. When his intense gaze, she turned towards him. Her eyes meeting his, the moment their gazes locked, there was a silent acknowledgement of the tension that had been since they had met earlier this evening. There was this constant tension that's been simmering since they met again, was neither suffocating nor awkward, yet it was undeniable and hard to define. Gaze momentarily dropped to her lips, his expression softening. She noticed the shift, the slow leaning in from him, as if drawn by an invisible thread. She was acutely aware of the things that happening. In a sharp breath and quickly turned her gaze away, looking up at the sky to break the moment. Isn't it the weather beautiful today? It looks like it might start to rain soon. We should probably head home, she said, her voice a little higher than usual. Jago looked like he was snapped out of some trance, so she turned away and began to walk towards their parked car. He reached out, grasping her wrist to hold her moments. Why? She turned to face him, her expression slightly guarded as he stepped closer, narrowing the space between them. Why does it seem like you are still uncomfortable? He asked softly, his eyes searching hers for an answer. I don't know, I notice you always seem ready to walk away. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but is it about the rejection? Van cut him off, shaking her head. It's in the past, Jungkook. I don't hold grudges. Besides, it was years ago, when we were young. Why would you still be hung up on that? Yes, it hurt at the time, but we both moved on. I'm living my best life, and you are living yours. And I don't think that should be a problem now. I want to be friends with you and just friends. We're good like this. So you really don't have to worry about that. Jungkook didn't say anything for a longer moment, and then nodded, his grip loosening on her wrist. I guess I was looking into it too much. I just don't want you to feel uncomfortable with me in any way. I'm not. Besides, I really like to spend time with you, and I enjoy a lot too. Jungkook smiled, a little relieved, yet a part of him was down, and he couldn't pinpoint why. Jungkook walked through the hallways. His mood was already somewhat dim because Hobby Young was not picking up his calls. He wanted to discuss something. The faint sound of laughter drew his attention. Turning the corner, he spotted Wai and Jaehyun. His steps slowed and frowns raised his brows as he observed the scene before him. Jaehyun was showing Wai something on his phone, and her laughter bright and carefree, her hand resting casually on Jae's shoulder, and he didn't much like the sight. Why does this bother me so much? He really enjoys his And this one, I almost embarrassed myself. Jungkook him scolded. It was the first time I almost about to cry, but then he took me outside by me and asked him. Then he advised me. You really seems to adore him. Yeah, I do. He's like older brother figure for me. He always this kind and everyone around him loves him. I see. But now you two look close and Jungkook him spend time with you more. Are you two together? Because I have never saw him getting close with anyone so early. No, we are not. We are friends. And how he is comfortable around me is because we used to study in same high school. Wait, what? You two used to study together and you are telling me now? It means you are same age as him? And oh, he put his hand in his mouth in shock and I looked at him in confused. But does that make me alien or something? No. The thing is, you're older than me and I keep calling you with your name. How disrespectful behavior. You should have told me before, no. That's not a big deal. It is. What do you mean it's not? You look so younger. I never thought that you would be older than me. I thought you might be 22. Now you're betraying me, huh? I don't look that young. You do? Oh, come on. She rolled her eyes, grabbing him by his shoulders, squeezing him as he laughed. You didn't come in your car today? No, I sent it for the repair, so I will take the cab. She said, already pulling out of her phone to book a ride. You sure? You can come with me. No, it's totally fine. Besides, I don't want to be burden on you. Why? You said we are friends, so what burden? Isn't it that what friends are for? Yeah, and don't ogle them. He mentally scolded himself. Okay, if you say so. They brought their midway to parking lot. Getting the engine start, he drove off silently. Van was awfully silent. He gave staring glances, and then, when near her house, he found this book. Are you okay? Yeah, she replied, still not measuring his gaze. There's something wrong, I know. Won't you tell me? I'm thinking of stopping this dance. I think I have enough lessons. He followed his bros. Why suddenly? My dad talked about my marriage today. I want to get married or not, and he has a few guys in his mind, and he wants me to go on a date with them to see if I like any one of them. His grip tightened on the steering wheel. So, what did you say? Well, I said I don't have any problem. Isn't it good time to get settled? What do you say? She said, staring at him to see his reaction, and he bit his lips. He didn't respond. She sighed and stopped the car in front of her house. She quickly thanked him, unbuckled her seat, and opened the car door. Jungkook was staring at her every dull move, and he cursed under his breath before he quickly unbuckled his seatbelt and stepped out of the car. As Van was about to move further away, he reached out, grasping her wrist, pulling her back towards him. She turned around, startled, her wide eyes meeting his. What happened? A lot. His gaze locked with hers, his hand moving from her wrist to her arm, not cornering her, but holding her close in her place. His breathing was uneven. Can you say no? No to your dad? That you don't want to date any guy he chose?